Hello, my beautiful beardy friends. So today we're going to talk about, can you train your beard to grow downwards? It's not as easy as you think. If you're new to this channel, please remember to subscribe and hit that bell notification. And also, this video is based on an article on beardgrowingpro.com. I'll put the link in the descriptions, but also just type in beardgrowingpro.com to your favorite browser and you'll get taken to my website where I share so many more tips and awesome things about beard growing that, I think it's going to be a valuable resource for you. So go check it out. All right, can you train a beard to grow down? Yes and no. Now, I think for every beard grower, we are always really conscious of the lines of our beard and the hairs that escape those lines. Now, I have a pretty curly, kind of dense growth, but I'm always looking for these little tiny hairs. And so today, my beard is only got in beard oil. I put no wax or balm or anything like that. And I'll do that occasionally because, I don't want my wax and balm to build up in my beard and make it look greasy and horrible. So what I do is just sort of like, accept that it's going to be a little bit wild some days. But here's the thing. When you type in train a beard, I think in our minds, or at least in my mind, I was like, okay, can you train a hair follicle to sort of change direction? Because all over our face, there's all these little tiny hair follicles, and essentially they grow out in a certain direction, some up, some down. It can be like cowlicks. You can get cowlicks, you can have swirls, you can have parts of your beard that just grow up in a weird ass direction that no other hairs are going in. And as a beard grower, you are always like, can I just make that hair grow the right direction? Now, with a hair follicle, there's nothing you can do about it beyond surgery to change the direction of that hair follicle. Unfortunately, it is locked in at the point of your conception. Your genetics decide if you're going to have swirls or, how your beard's going to sit. I'm very lucky that everything, around the edges of my beard are pointing in like, a relatively normal direction. So I end up with a nice kind of flat-ish beard on most days. But you probably have another type of hair pattern, and it is also common to not have an even hair pattern. So one side of your face could be a completely different pattern to the other side of your face, and you kind of get to know that as you're shaving your beard, and you kind of feel and rub, and you always shave with the grain or across the grain and not against the grain. But who pays attention to that? Everyone shaves against the grain because it feels nice. Anyway, this is about beard growing, not shaving. Hair follicles move and grow in one direction. There's nothing you can do about it. So when we talk about training a hair, what we really mean is getting the hair to a certain length and then sort of forcing it to semi-permanently lay in the position that we want to keep the lines of our beard looking awesome. And so in this video, we're not going to talk about how to train a hair follicle because that is near impossible. What we're going to do is talk about the ways that you can train your hair to grow in a certain direction using different techniques. But of course, it relies on the hair being a certain length before you can do that. And that's normally about like 1 inch to 2 inches before you can kind of start bending that hair and forcing it to kind of move in the direction that you want it to. Here's the little list. Okay, the first way, and if you sort of scour the internet, it's all about combing, but this, in my experience, has been the least effective way of training hairs because it is so temporary that combing alone just doesn't cut it for me. Maybe it will for you, but I do brush my beard probably about 3 to 4 times a day. So when I wake up in the morning, I have my shower and then I brush it downwards into the shape I want it to be in. And then about midday, when I've had my lunch, if I'm out and about and not at home, I'll use my pocket comb. And if I go to the bathroom, I'll just kind of use my wooden pocket comb and brush downwards. And that seems to keep everything kind of just normal because throughout the day, I do touch my beard a lot. Just brushing it or combing it just keeps it flat against my face for the majority of the day. And the third time is, just before bed. So as I'm brushing my teeth before going to bed, I will give it a little brush or a comb. And I have found that that's a nice way to maintain it and sort of very short term push the hairs back into where I need it, whether or not they're growing down or otherwise. But it's just, if I want to force them down, I can do that. But then I find, within a couple of hours, it's all starting to go crazy again. So combing is a very important part of training your beard, but it has to be used in combination with something, in my experience. And that's what we'll talk about next. Pinning is a thing that you can use to train your beard. Now, when you wake up in the morning, you'll have all of the different directions locked in from when you were sleeping on your pillow. And so what you've got to do is essentially just kind of like train the hairs, the length of the hair, the direction of the hairs again, because you've been sleeping on it, hopefully for about 8 hours if you don't have children or if you're a good sleeper. And so, you can buy these things called creaseless pins. And so if you have a particularly bad problem area in your beard, you can literally just pin the hair down in the morning. And the creaseless pins just don't sort of like create a dent in your beard. They just hold the hair in place. So pinning has been used, by women who want to have their hair held in a certain way for ages. And I'm amazed that more men don't use it in the mornings. You don't have to keep in the pin all day, but it is a fun way or an effective way to keep, I guess it is kind of fun as well, but it is an effective way of holding the hairs in place and undoing the damage you've done overnight. If you want the hairs to stay in kind of a certain place, pin it. Another way that you can train your beard to grow down, and this is awesome when used in combination with pinning, is heat treatment. So whether it's a beard straightener or a hot hair dryer kind of blow dry treatment, then heat just works so well. Heat works because you are breaking the hydrogen bonds in your beard and then resetting them with cool air. And this is temporary. So the moment that you get your hair wet again, or if you just don't do it for a while, your hair will return to the shape that it's meant to be in. But used in combination with combing, it is the way I love keeping my beard tame, is heat treatment with a blow dryer. Now go check out my other video, which is Should I Straighten My Beard? And it talks about all the ins and outs and tricks and the benefits and the cons and all of those things about straightening your hair. So I'll put the link above wherever that goes, and go and look at that video because it will tell you everything you need to know about straightening your hair and should you straighten your hair, because it has got some downsides as well. Straightening, heat treatment is perfect, and I really think it is one of the most effective ways to semi-permanently straighten your hair for the day. I haven't come across a better technique so far. One of the last ways that you can sort of control your hair growth is by using products. Now, I've said this time and time again, but I used to sort of poo-poo products. I was like, oh, they're just there to kind of like separate me from my money. But when I started using them, I saw a significant improvement in the shape of my beard, comments about my beard, I just use it. You don't have to use a lot. The thing about beard products that you should use it sparingly and use enough that you get the effect that you desire and no more, because no one wants a greasy, shiny, oily looking beard. I used to use so much beard oil that someone in my co-working space said to me, is your beard wet? And that was like 3 or 4 hours after I had applied the beard oil. So I was obviously putting too much in because it just looked wet. So we don't want that. But products are really great. And this is where a particular product that I don't recommend very often kind of comes up, and that is a texturizing styling spray. So I'll put a link to one in the description, but Beard Brand also have like a sea salt spray, and this texturizing spray provides hold, it provides lift, it kind of makes it look I guess more substantial, and it can be an awesome way to just train those hairs to grow downwards, because the texturizing nature of this spray, it just kind of holds it keeps it looking not wet like an oil would, but also still it looks healthy. And I do like the matte versions of these, which is where these kind of sea salt sprays come in, because it makes it look like your beard is effortlessly growing down or effortlessly staying in place, because you just can't see the product. So yeah, go check out a texturizing spray. That's one thing. And then our good old favorite beard balm and beard wax. I absolutely love my DIY one. Like, it is cheap, it's effective. I can tailor the recipe, you know, change the ratio of shea butter and beard wax. So I use beeswax just to, yeah, find the perfect hole. So go check out my other video, which is DIY beard balm with coconut oil. I'll put the link around. But yeah, that video will talk you through everything, the whole process, and importantly, what each ingredient does. And yeah, you can then tailor it to your best kind of results for your beard. Now, beard balm and beard wax can help sort of control the beard, control the lines of the beard, but once again, use it sparingly, and you have to use it in combination with something else. I've never found that, for example, without combing, that I can't just like chuck on beard oil and it just looks great. I do need combing, I do need heat treatment, but the product is that final cherry on top that just holds everything in place. The last thing that you could use is a chemical relaxer or a chemical straightener. Now, this is a genuinely semi-permanent result now, because what it does is it breaks the sulfur bonds in the protein of your hair and reforms them. And so that means it gets out of any kind of kinks or waves and that sort of stuff. The good news is you can do it at home. So go to my article that this video is based on beardgrowingpro.com, and I've got a little kind of like how-to section there about how to use a chemical beard straightener. But ultimately, this is kind of the last attempt of getting your beard to grow down. You can't change the hair follicle, but once it's a certain length, you can get the hair to do what it wants. And using chemicals, it's not ideal, but it may be the last solution for your beard that works. So there we have it. Can you train your beard to grow downwards? Well, yes, but you cannot change the direction of the hair follicle. Let me know in the comments what you would add to this video if you've managed to successfully train your hair to grow downwards, and what that looks like for you, because I really feel like it's a combination, kind of a collection of approaches that need to be used to make your beard grow downwards or in the direction that you want it to grow in. Ultimately though, the waves, the direction, the inconsistencies of your beard make your beard yours. So love it. Don't overanalyze it, because no one else in the world is. No one sees it as much as you do. So they're not going to judge it as harshly as you are. So, you know, first step is to accept what you've got, and then if you want to sort of like perfect it just that little bit, then use the approaches in this video, and I guarantee that it will look better, and it will get rid of any of those kinks or weird directions that is growing in your beard. All right, my bearded friends, until next time, I shall see you later.